Hey guys, it's Ali, and in this video I want to tell you a little bit about what I learned from reading over 200 books and some of the realizations I had lately about changing the world and why I'm going to put off changing the world temporarily and actually build a system to try to change the world while I'm actually focusing on other things more relating to what I want to do. And this reminds me of a quote by Rumi I read a long time ago. It said, "Yesterday I was clever, I want to change the world. Today I am wise, I am changing myself." And I'm going to talk a little bit also about something I call sequential thinking, which has really served me, and focusing on short-term goals over long-term goals, which again has really served me. And that's because I look around and I see a lot of people on the internet, and there's so much noise, man. Like every day I get on the internet, I hate consuming content because like more and more, I think soon enough I'm just going to be so hyper focused on making sure I'm not consuming the wrong content, which kind of sucks because very often you might read something that can spark an idea, but unfortunately because so much people just put crap out there without much critical thinking and just keep saying the same stuff over and over again, there's like a lack of original thought in most of people's content, and this is and that just like is just annoying, you know. So like it's very noisy, and the problem with that is you start losing your like touch with your own voice when you just hear people on the internet. Everyone's like, do this, do that, do that, this, oh, use this strategy, use this formula. Oh, nope, the economy is gonna do this, the economy is gonna do like a backflip, and this is how you should do, which by the way, you should buy my course because the economy is gonna do the backflip this way, and I'm gonna teach you how to do the front flip, which is gonna reverse the back. And if you're not careful, like all these marketers are, and it's not even just marketers, like everyone's a marketer. Like I'm a marketer. Every human is a marketer. Anybody who's sending ideas out there is representing a message, whether they realize it or not. And if you don't have the right filters, and if your critical thinking is not sharp, and if your mind is not fine-tuned to detect BS and filter it out, you're in a very dangerous and vulnerable position, like in today's world, in my opinion. And one of the very noisy ideas that propagate, which like stem from an altruistic, like good meaning, the idea that like we should change the world, and we will change the world, we are changing the world, but that message is spread in such a wrong way, especially to young people, where like picture yourself as a college student or a high school student. You're barely starting out, you don't even know what you want, and you have this pressure on your shoulder to like make the world a better place and like change the world and do all these things when you haven't even figured out like what you're going to do over the next 3 months. Now, for most people, for like if you know how to use that, sure, it can be inspiring. But what I noticed is that for most people, including myself, that can add a lot of unnecessary pressure to you. Like, how about you figure yourself out first before you go and change the world? And this is something my brother said to me a while back, which really stuck out to me. He said, before you go ahead and change the world, clean your room. And it's such a simple and kind of funny statement, but it's so true because many people have messy rooms. And messy room here is a metaphor. Like your relationships are broken, your family's broken, you're out of shape, you're unhealthy, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you desire, but you're going to magically fix the world. And that's one of the like very noisy ideas that propagate. And this is why I kind of advocate something, what I call selfish altruism, is like coming to acceptance that us humans, like, yes, even though part of us is altruistic and wants to help and wants to do amazing things for the world, we're still wired to like put our own self-interest first. And anybody who denies that is just completely delusional and has like absolutely no understanding of human nature or biology or anything of that nature. And if you can learn how to align your self-interest with the world's interest, in other words, you can take an altruistic vision and combine it with a selfish desire that you have, in my opinion, that's how you win. That's how someone like Elon Musk is able to like say, all right, we're gonna make life multiplanetary, and we're gonna go to Mars, and we're gonna make the human brain like we're gonna build brain machine interfaces that allow us to interface with the human brain, and we're gonna be a good match to AI. These are all altruistic things, and these are all very good things with like that are in the best of interest of the world. But the thing I really admire about Elon Musk is he found a way to align what he finds cool, what he finds interesting, in this case building technology, building software, and later building hardware, to what the world needs. And in my opinion, he's done that exceptionally well. I know there are people, I can't stand the people that, I mean, God bless them. They leave comments and they're like, oh my God, like Elon Musk like inherited like an emerald mine, or like, oh my God, like Elon Musk doesn't pay his workers. Like, just shut up. Like shut up. What are you doing? What are you doing to impact the world? And what are you doing to align your self-interest with what the world needs? Anyway, what I mean with it, and by the way, this is independent of Elon Musk as a person. I'm talking about somebody who has learned how to leverage the brain as a technology and as a way of thinking, and to combine what it is that they want with what it is the world wants. And this is something I've been doing lately. For example, I love teaching and I love sharing information and I love learning. This is why I have like so many books in here, like about all sorts of topics. And that's because I realized early on, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And the only way to find out is to just increase my peripheral vision as much as possible, read as many books as possible, talk to as many people as possible, travel to as many countries as possible. Like, try to just do as much as I can that gives me exposure to all the things that are out there, because I understood very early on in life that I don't know what's out there. And my number one assignment is to just create like a map of the world in my head. Most people have a very minute map of the world in their head. They don't even think of it as a map of the world. Like, the way I think of the world is there's all this cool stuff going on. There's all these amazing people out there that I don't even know exist. There's all these ideas and concepts that I still have not interfaced with. And the way to do that is by reading many books, talking to many people, doing things of that nature. And that's something I've been trying to do. And part of that is to figure out what it is that I want that aligns with my self-interest that can actually be of benefit to the world. And that's why I started my YouTube channel, Ali the Dazzling, because at the core of it, I'm really trying to help students and I'm really trying to inspire the next generation of engineers. And I'm really trying to get engineers to change their mindset. And I'm trying to teach people a paradigm of how they think about mindset and beliefs and skill acquisition in a way that they have never heard of before. And that's very altruistic, and that is going to help people, and these people will be helped, and they will have amazing careers, and the world's going to be better. We're going to have more engineers, and the engineers are going to be more competent, so they're going to build better products and services, and those better products and services are going to help people like live better, raise their kids better, argue less on Facebook, be more enlightened, and then that's going to go create even like the trickle, like Ali the Dazzling, the second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences of posting these videos. Even if, like, as of the time I'm recording this, my main channel has around 11,000 subscribers. If out of 11,000 people who clicked the subscribe button and watched my videos and got inspired by one or two of the ideas, if only 10 of them like actually went and did something with that, and then out of those 10, like 3 went and really did something with that, and then maybe 1 out of those 3 went and started a company, and that company changed how people like think or do things, and then that impacted something else. Like that alone was enough and to create a dent in the universe that changes how humans live forever. Now, that all sounds very altruistic, but what most people fail to realize is there's also a selfish desire in me posting these people, and that's I myself enjoy the feeling of helping people. When I don't know if it's a people-pleasing tendency or whatever it is, like I probably, like the way my parents raised me is to always be in service of others. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about me that whenever I feel like I'm helping someone, there's like chemicals in my brain. Like, my brain lights up, and I feel happy, and I feel joy, and I feel like I have done something. And it almost feels like a selfish desire to help people because it makes me feel so good. And every time I'm posting videos and every time I see people read in the comments, people saying, oh my God, thank you so much, this helped me, that makes me feel really good about myself. And guess what? That causes me to have a belief upgrade where I'm like, wow, the videos are really helping. Let me actually go ahead and post more videos, and let me go help more people. Let me go mentor more people. And what's really neat about that is I have found a way to hack my own psychology, where something that my limbic brain, the very emotional part of my brain craves, which is, let's say, the desire to help other people and just get the satisfaction from seeing that I'm the one who's helping other people, and align it with an altruistic goal, which is prepare the next generation of engineers and the next generation of students, and help people figure out what they want to do with their career, and help people think about their career in a way that is more optimistic and the way that's even more exciting. And if I can just help one or two or three or four or five people change how they think about their work, and then they will go in and trickle that and inspire other people and not. And you guys see how that loop goes full circle. And a big part of that was because of all the books that I have read. It's all because of all the ideas that I've read. And part of it is also like from an efficiency perspective, where I've read so many books. I know so much. There's so much knowledge sitting here that it would be so irresponsible of me to just hoard it and to just sit down and not share it. Like if you're somebody who you think you have a lot of information that can help other people, and you have a way of articulating the information and a way of communicating the information that is clear and concise and can be actionable and direct and help someone else, in my opinion, it is irresponsible to not share that information. And again, like from an altruistic perspective, everybody should share what they learn, whatnot, and things of that nature. But I'm also saying from a self-interest perspective, if you can share the information you have and you see that it helps other people, I can assure it's gonna make you feel really good about yourself. I guarantee you, I experience that every day. And it's funny, even when I see trolls, I love hate comments and I love trolls. Like when I see people trying to troll, or they're like, oh, like I don't even remember what some of the people say, but it's very laughable. But it shows me that good, because it exposes a crack in the world where like someone who leaves a troll or like leaves a mean comment, it shows me that person is very unhappy with their life, and it shows me that they're not on the right track for whatever reason. And we still have a lot of work to help these people. But the way we help these people is not by shunning them. Like I probably should sometimes, but like I never I don't know, argue back or say something mean back or whatnot. Whenever someone leaves a mean comment, sometimes I ignore it. But the times that I do respond, like let's say someone says something about me that is like mean, I would always respond and say like, why is that? Like, why are you saying that? What's making you say that? And I'm trying to use the mean comment as an opportunity to get the person to critically think, because I think critical thinking is really at the root cause of everything. That like if you don't know, if you don't critically think well, if you don't examine every idea on your own and run it through filters, I think that can be very, very dangerous, because then you'll just act without thinking, and I think that's about the most dangerous thing like ever imaginable, like someone taking an action on a thought without actually like thinking it through. And unfortunately, that's what happens to most people, and that's the even bigger problem I'm trying to solve. So like beyond the career, beyond like in my videos, I try to be as subtle about it, but like I kind of throw in these ideas here and there in my videos that really encourage people to just think for themselves, because that's really the single skill that has served me the most. And that's why I've always done things in unconventional ways, because I always think, I always pause, and I'm like, okay, what are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to do? And this is why I'm willing to like I can isolate myself for a brief period and just read a ton of books and come to figuring out what I want to do with my life. Which brings me to another idea, is that most people don't know what they want to do with their lives, and they don't take the time to think or process that. One of the things that have served me really well is I spent a very large I've spent probably 30% of my life figuring out, like thinking about what I want to do. And I know for most people that sounds like a scary number, because like 30% of my life was spent not producing, but rather thinking about what to produce. And to someone who's naive, they're like, oh, but then you're 30% less productive. But imagine being 100% productive, like on the wrong things. Like nothing more terrifying to me than that, working very hard on the wrong things. Like I want to really make sure I work hard on the right things. But figuring out the right things to work on, that's very hard. It's not easy, because the way I frame it is there's two things to consider. There's two variables. There's what you like desire in your heart, like what you deep down want, like what your heart wants, and then there's like what your mind wants. And you got to find a way to marry the two. And over a long enough time horizon, I think what your heart wants will always win. So you can never fool yourself. You have to open yourself up to listen to your own intuition and listen to your own deepest deepest desires. I don't know where they come from. I don't know if it's like your soul or if it's just like your childhood conditioning. It's probably like a mixture of a bunch of stuff. But whenever I try to go too hard against my deepest desires, or try to not listen to that, just kind of ignore my intuition, I suffer miserably and I become very depressed and I become very sad. And whenever I do things that are in alignment with what I deep down desire, and that's like probably the things I enjoyed doing as a kid, such as like meeting amazing people, playing soccer, learning, being curious about things, achieving things, getting things done, and being praised for it. Like these are things that I did as a kid and gave me a lot of joy. And I feel like the more I try to stay away from it, the more I try to stay away from the things that made me enjoy life when I was just a child, the more life becomes very dull and miserable. And only when I find ways to integrate, like with that, like let's say child part of me wants, with what the like adult slash just pure mind in me wants, only when I find a way to balance and integrate the two, that's when I go on and achieve very extraordinary things. Because then I'm operating from my own internal zone of genius, rather than just like pure mind and intellect and analytics, which is very important. But some people rely only on facts and data, but I think intuition is very important. Listening to your soul, I think that is very, very, very important. Which brings me back to the idea of changing the world. So when I just turned 26, this was about like 9 months ago, I had a really big idea, and I started a company. And the long-term goal of my company, the company is called Next Level Lifestyle Design and Optimization, and the goal is to make humans more optimized, make humans more efficient, make life more fun. I'm basically trying to solve the human condition with my company, trying to help people think better, make better decisions, and just overall design the life they want, optimize their actions around the life that they want, and just enjoy life, period. Because I feel like that's the end goal of the assignment of life. We're all here. We have no idea why. We have no idea why we're here. And all we have control over is the journey. So I'm trying to make the journey as fun as possible for most people. Because the journey has been super fun for me and is only going to get more fun. And I feel bad for people who don't have that perspective, like the journey-oriented perspective. And this is where the sequential thinking comes in part, because I could probably show you. I made a diagram in my basement, which really, by the way, this is where I spent a lot of my time, like almost 3 years. This is where my cat lives. And then I have this whiteboard, which is amazing. And I don't know if you can see this, but I made like basically a checklist of things that I like need to do with my life. And only when I put things visually like that, things made sense. Like for me, the goal of life is to enjoy and experience things to the max. And I have like out of the list of experiences that I had in life, for example, and this list can go on, but I started like with the ones that are like more recent, since I was like maybe like 14 years old. And I have a box that says get first job at Kmart, check. That was something I deeply cared about when I was younger, when I was like 13 or 14. I really wanted to get a job. I spent like months obsessing over it, and when I finally got it, it was like a big achievement for me in life. There's one that says live young and foolish, check. Get a bachelor's in engineering, figure out career path, get some internships, check. Live in Spain, travel, live life, check. Get a PhD, get some research papers, bring some money to the lab, check. And these are things I've wanted to achieve and wanted to experience. And doing a PhD, being a researcher, bringing money to the lab, and like to me, these are things that are amazing. These are things that I really wanted to experience. And then finally, write a book, start a YouTube channel, inspire students on social media or whatever. That's a box that I need to tick. And then like I was missing one box here. Here I have one that says NASA, Next Level, Dent in the Universe. NASA, I really want to go back to do research at NASA. I just want to be around those engineers again. I love NASA so much, especially NASA JPL. That place is like my home. Next Level is my company, and then Dent in the Universe. This is like me changing the world, the real impact I want to have. But there's a box over here that says parents, and it says loading. And that's something I had come to realize is that when like around 9 months ago when I started my company, and I'm like, all right, now I'm like set on to go on a quest, like go change the world. And then I realized, like I always had internal emotional resistance. I always had like thoughts of like, yeah, but like, is that really what I should be doing? like, oh man, like there's always just some emotional disconnect where my mind intellectually wanted to go and go all in on my business. I even like even to the point of almost dropping out of my PhD. But then part of me is like, no, this is totally the wrong approach. We shouldn't do that. But I didn't understand why. And it was only when I put that visual up there that everything became so clear. Because to me, ticking the parents box is very important. And what I mean by ticking the parents box is making sure that my parents are rewarded for the actions they took in life and are living in the best condition possible. And my parents are doing well financially. They're fairly happy, but I feel like I could do more to enhance their lives. I could help them get like a way nicer house. I could help them have absolutely no financial stress at all. I could help them solve their like health problems and maybe hire people for them that help them take care of like a lot of things in their lives. Like my parents sacrificed a lot of their lives to make sure that me and my siblings get really good education. Like we immigrated to the United States, and for me, like this goes back to the topic of it makes no sense to change the world like before cleaning your room. And I think this was the emotional resistance that I was having, and that I was out to go change the world and build this massive company and do this amazing work, but still like that part felt missing. So I actually changed my perspective, and for the next few years, or at least for the next few months, maybe max next like 1 year or two, I am focusing on achieving my personal goals before I go ahead and change the world. And before I go like full-time changing the world. Like I'm still changing the world part-time, like with my YouTube channel and with my other stuff that I'm doing. I can build systems around that so that it's at least like passive for now. But my active thinking right now should be on achieving what I want, which is supporting myself, supporting my family, and doing the things that like I need to do. And I think that's very important, because many people do not think that way. Many people think, oh, I gotta change the world immediately, as like and it would be like 17-year-old kid with like no resources and no guidance. And to me, that's just the most paralyzing. Like everything I've done in life is by just going one step at a time. And the idea of changing the world is so overwhelming and grand that it needs to be chunked down and broken down into smaller steps. And for me, the steps for that is, first, make sure that I'm in good financial situation, my parents are in good financial situation, tick those boxes, build systems around my content and how I'm helping people, and find other ways to help people, and recruit talented students that can help me duplicate myself and then go on to help other students as well. And I'm already in the process of doing that. And then like get to a point where I'm doing like 50% amazing engineering work and